Hi, how are we doing? I've changed the introduction because the men that I know in my life are all taking the mickey out of me. Because when I start these videos, I go, hello everybody, and they think that's absolutely hysterical. So I have to change it today. Hi. Hope you're all right out there. I hope everybody's well. Okay, right, so that's silly this out of the way. I hadn't even realised I'd started doing that. It's amazing how we get into habits and things and stuff, isn't it? Right, okay, so today we've got block 27. 27, that's frightening, isn't it? So it's the last one that I need in order to make 3 9 square or 9 block little quilts. Okay, I will continue next week. We'll see what he has to say, Boris has to say on, well, that's tomorrow, isn't it, Sunday, but I can see this carrying on a little while. So we will carry on next week, and I'll find some more blocks and things for us to do. All right, but I'm quite eager to get this one done so that I can put my quilt tops together. Okay, right, so today's, I'm putting that out of the way because I can see me, it's hot and it's full, and I'm going to chuck that everywhere if I'm not careful. So today's block, now, I want another applique block, to be honest, because I've split all mine up into stars and I've put in with the stars the 2 log cabins, or the log cabin and the courthouse step variation. I've put Weird and Wonderfuls all together, and I'll show you those in a minute. And then that's left me with all the applique blocks and a couple of sort of pieced, which sort of go together quite nicely. So we're going to go applique today, and it would be such a shame if I didn't do a Dresden plate. Has to be done, doesn't it? Bearing in mind I put out Mum's quilt with us the other day, which was humongous Dresden plate, and I love Dresden plate, as I keep saying, is my favourite applique. So that and Rosa Sharon, I should say. So I'm going to do a Dresden plate, but I'm going to do it differently. Normally I would do English paper piecing. Okay, so I'd cut my cardboard or template, whatever, not the cardboard, tell me, thicker paper. Cardboard's too thick, but like a greetings card or a magazine cover or something a little bit thicker. I'd cut my shape, I'd put my fabric around it 1/4 inch bigger, tack it under all together, and then stitch them all nicely into a circle, and then iron them, take the papers out and applique it onto my block. Well, I'm going to cheat today, because why not? And it's something I've never ever done with Dresden, but I'm about to. I'm going to cut my petals out with Bondaweb. I'm going to stick them on, and then I'm going to zigzag around them. So like I did with the hearts, yeah, I don't know if you can see that, I put a really thick yellow zigzag around, and I thought, well, do you know what? I'm going to do the same with my Dresden plate. I'm going to have all my petals cut, stick, and then I'm gonna outline them in that same yellow, because I thought that would go really well. So I don't know if you've ever done that before, if you've cheated and done a very traditional, that is one technique, and turned it into another technique. I've done it with other shapes, but I've never done it with Dresden. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make sure I've got some of that dark blue in it as well, so that I'm going to have a mismatch background like I've done that one, but it could be all sorts of anything. And I'm going to have some applique that is dark blue, and I've got Tom crying over here. It's only 8:30, but he's already out here with me. Sun's out, doors open, birds are tweeting, and now he's having a little whinge down there. Bless him. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do for my number 27, and then I've got my 9 blocks for my other little quilt. Now at this point I am going to tell you another half story. Yes, Tom, sorry about that. Because a lot of you know I have my own templates made, and they're usually Weird and Wonderfuls, but on this occasion it's a very traditional. I have a particular Dresden shape that I love, that was the very first Dresden I used, and it takes 16 petals to do a 12-inch block, and it fits in really nicely, and it's ideal. And I've never ever been able to buy one the same, so I've always used cardboard, a hard cardboard that I made myself. And you get all these lovely templates, sort of all sorts of lengths, and put your circles in and all these diddy and change it and do it and all that. Too much hassle. I have them, but too much hassle. So what I did several years ago was, because I teach beginners all the time, I've had them made. I had them made a good few years ago now. Andy from Crafty UK, it was one of the very first ones he ever did for me. So I have a supply of this, an awful big supply of these, because I use them in all my classes. So if anybody wishes, I've never put them onto the website before, but I'll put them on the website today. Okay, with post, because they're going to come out, they don't fit through the little slot because they're quite thick. So they'll come out as a large letter. So included postage, I reckon we'll do these at £4, so a bit of a special offer. Okay, so if you want one of them, it takes 16 petals, so you get a really good array. So it's quite an in-depth one. Okay, as you saw on Mum's quilt the other day. All right, so that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to, as I say, bond web applique mine. All right, so endless supply of those. If anybody wants one, I'll put them onto the website, and a bit of a special so that you've got part of your postage paid. Is that good? Right, now moving on, because I was telling you the other day, wasn't I, about sashings and cornerstones. Right, so I'm going to move out of the way a little bit, says she, running over things below. Okay, so here's my very first of our 3 little quilt tops put together. Okay, these parts here, the little squares, are the cornerstones, and then sashings. Well, as I said the other day, I happened to find a whole heap of black sashings, so I thought, well, I'll use those first. So it's my black sashing. Now the sashing actually finishes at 12 inches, the same as your block, by 2 inches wide. So I'm cutting 12.5 by 2.5 to get that length. All right, and your square finishes at 2 inches by 2 inches. So you're cutting 2.5 by 2.5. All right, and then we put them together in what I call strips. Okay, now strips confuse people when you're looking at this, because when you're thinking strips, you're thinking little bits like this, aren't you? That's the strip. Well, actually, if you think, right across the top there is a strip. All right, and then this section across the blocks is a strip, and then you've got another little strip in here and a big strip. So it's done in the same way as you would do a block. It's just that much bigger. Okay, so what I've done here, I've gone really weird on this one. I've got brown. I don't do brown, but it's somehow weirdly working. Don't ask me. I spent quite a bit of time yesterday trying to suss out which fabric was going to work, because this is the mismatched, everything chopped up jobby. All right, so there's my strips. Okay, so I cut 12.5 by 2.5. Right, so that was them. And then I had a load of little, I've attached them. Okay, so there's my cornerstones on the end there. I had gone cream. So this is a strip as far as I'm concerned in my world. So that's a top strip. All right, so it might be skinny, but it's a strip. Okay, so that's the very first bit, like at the top. Then, oh, there's my blocks that I haven't got to yet. So we're in the process of this one. I thought I'll stop halfway so I could show you. Yeah, so there we are, strips. And then that would be my second strip here. Okay, so that's my first 3 blocks with the sashings between and on the ends ready to go. All right, so that's my sort of second strip, and I put them together then. There you are, look, so I've done another one there ready. So you can see you've got the little strip at the top, you've got the fat strip, and then I'm going to put another little strip. Just makes life easier. Straight lines wherever you can. Always stitch in a straight line. Don't be going around corners and things and giving yourself a real headache. Okay, so what we need to do really is place your blocks out, decide where you want them, how you want them. I usually take a photo because that just makes life easier when I'm trying to remember what the hell it was I was going to do. And then I tend to make all my little strips up. Okay, so I'll make me little strips up as many as I need. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in this case. So I've made up 4 of them ready to go. That's left me with enough sashings to put in between my blocks going the other way, as it were. So we do the blocks and then I put them all together. Okay, when you're putting them together, pin from the center. So sort of if you match up your seams, because you're gonna have to match these with your cornerstones. Okay, so we're gonna nest your seams of your cornerstones into those two first, all right, and then make sure that that's nicely evened in, and then work out that side, and then stitch right the way across. Okay, that's how I do it anyway. Okay, make sure before you start stitching that your blocks are actually 12.5 square. Okay, because then that makes life so much easier when they drop in. That one there yesterday was, I'm gobsmacked, was perfectly all right. I think there might have been 1/8 of an inch out here or there. But having said that, with so many seams in most of the blocks, that they will stretch and move around for you, no problem. Okay, so make sure your blocks are of size to start. If for any reason one of them's really way off or whatever, well, consider first chopping it back to size if it's too big, and where to chop it. If it's too small, consider putting a frame around it, so put another fabric right the way around it. If it's sort of small, but actually it's only like, say you want 12.5 and you've got 12, and it's like, oh god, I need to put something, but I don't know quite what. I tend to cheat. If I can, I chop it smaller again, and then put a frame on it to build it back up again, so that you're not just stitching seam on seam. But see how you go. There's all sorts of ways around it. Okay, if in doubt and you're not too sure, give us a shout and ask, and I'll tell you what I would do in order to put it right. Might not necessarily be the correct thing to do, but it's what I would do, and I'm happy to share that. All right, so there we go. So this is what we're all doing today, or at least what I'm lying. Sun's out. That's why I'm up early. I'm up early to do me witter. Then I've got to go to the post office with yesterday's orders. Thank you, everybody. Yesterday and day before's. Okay, so I'll go and do that first thing this morning. And then I shall sit in the garden for a bit. And then I'll come back in this evening when the good bit's gone, as it were. And I'm going to put this one back together. All right, so you'll see that one finished tomorrow. And then I want to do my Dresden plate ready to put this one together, and I'll see how far I get with all of that. I'm not at all sure today. Excuse me. He's painting the bedroom, and so I was elsewhere sleeping in another bedroom. That sounded good, didn't it? we were in the other room, and the fumes have got me. I have to say that I'd forgotten, and Wendy reminded me this late last night. Cut an onion and put in there. So I put onions all over our house, and it's not quite so bad this morning, but it's made me a bit this morning, so I do apologise, folks. So I know exactly what that is. It's too much gloss paint. Well, it wasn't the gloss, it was the radiator paint. Gosh, that stuff does have a stink to it. But there we are. It's done now, and it's going to look very lovely. He's on a mission in there, and I'm not going to argue. It's very nice to have it done. So there we are. So Dresden plate. Another one put together with brown. I have no idea what I'm going to put that together with. It won't be brown though. I can't believe I'm using brown. I don't do. I have to say I do quite like the brown, you see, with the pale blue, which is in some people's books a real no-no, but I quite like it. So that's why I landed up with that one on that one. Black, as I say, was a happy accident. My applique, I'm not sure. It might land up the dark blue that I'm doing the applique in, because I think that might look good and it might make things jump out. Ooh, exciting. So what else? Have a happy day. Exercise, as I say, I'm off to the post office for mine. That'll be good. What else? Have you said hello to everybody? That would be nice. And did everybody have a lovely day yesterday, bank holiday? I know that there were sort of celebrations of different sorts going on around the place. Lots of virtuals and over the walls and down the roads and things, which was lovely. I'm pretty sure that half the world's arrived in Cornwall, even though it shouldn't have, judging by the traffic. But there we are. That's another thing again, isn't it? So, yeah, hopefully everyone's okay. Bit of exercise. Say hello to everybody. I'm not tidy. As we know, it's tidy. It's all good, so I don't have to bother with that. Loveliness. What else? Anything or nothing? that's probably about it, really, isn't it, that you need to know today. So, Dresden Plate, and I'm doing it Bondaweb for my last square. That's the point. Reiterate, we've got a very nice little Dresden Plate that fits straight into a 12-inch block. Spot on. Absolutely lovely. You get 16 of those little beauties in a circle into your... Obviously, I only send you one of these, but you get 16 petals in a circle, which gives you a nice array of fabrics if you want. Okay, but as I say, I'm going to do mine today Bondaweb, but I shall still use one of these on the back of my Bondaweb to get me shape. All right, so £4. I'll stick them on the website. If anybody wants one, I can just pop those into the post for you. Right, what else? Anything else? Oh, yes. I don't know if you can see up the end there, I've put Moonlight Daisies up. It had a fabulous finish that I put up on Facebook the other day from Sue. A completely different background to it. It was more like a sunset in lots of lovely stripes of colour. Mine was done as Moonlight, so dark. I'm going to get it and show you a bit closer. Sue's done hers completely different with lots of lovely bright colours behind it, which I found fabulous because it's nice, as far as I'm concerned, to see my designs with a different take on them. All right, so there's Moonlight Daisies. I don't know if you can see that properly. Okay. Pattern is available again over on my website. All right. And now I know I'm posting out several of those this morning. Okay, so those of you that have ordered, they're going to be on their way to you today, and thank you very much. All right, so there we go. Oh, what now? I've got bits all over me. Bits all over me. Never mind, eh? Right, so only thing to be said is to have a happy day. Enjoy yourselves, whatever you're doing. Make the best of a bad, as we all are. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely day.